Okay, we are 5th grade here at Berkshire, and we wanted to share with you what our planning looks like. When we get together as a team and we sit down and we plan, we do this together. Everybody takes part, and we are going to start in Unit 4, Week 2 with Lesson 1. And we wanted to just focus on the reading lessons for this video. We will tie in, you'll see, as we go through, we'll tie in some of the language lessons because they would be beneficial to do as you're reading and doing the reading lessons.
It also will cut down on time.
For sure.
Okay, so starting with Lesson 1, this is where you're going to build knowledge and start with your essential question from the week before and have the kids just build and reflect. You can use the page that they are saying, but really you can also just use it as more of a discussion just to save time. So how we do this is on like a Monday, we would do Lesson 1 and Lesson 3 together. So for Lesson 1, we would just do a quick discussion. We highlight the points here of what to say so that we can, just go through it pretty quickly and give the students chances to pair share. On the other side of the page here, there's also kind of some guiding questions that you can ask the students, just in case if you don't really know exactly what to ask or if you just need more help with that. And really it takes probably 10 minutes at the most, and then you can move on to Lesson 3.
So we're going to move to the next reading lesson, which was Lesson 3, and it's on identifying key events and summarizing. Now, we are in Unit 4 by now, so we have done this lesson several times. So you're going to see we don't have an I do, but we do like to highlight our guiding questions. We like to highlight our purpose because we're going to end up annotating that in our text, and some guiding questions that can be given for partner talk. Definitely helps if you highlight what is going to be your key things to focus on as you read.
If you go over to the next page, we broke it up into 2 sections, and like she was saying is that we're already in Unit 4. We've done this plenty of times, so we're going to start with a we do. We had to go into the student text to see where these answers stop, and we broke it up. As you can see, I'll point right here with my pencil, that it's paragraph 1 through 15, the we do, and the ones that are not highlighted is the we do portion. And I'll do that with the whole class, and they'll be able to work in groups and pair share during that time. And then finally, we just broke up this map down here, this portion, and that is the you do, and that's going to be paragraph 16 through 18 where they'll go back and do that independently.
So I wanted to point out that we have planned in all of our thinking maps, like I said earlier. So we all wrote them in our books. Sometimes we have to modify them just a tad, but we went with, because it's identifying key events, just a general flow map. We like to sometimes put lines underneath so they can reword the events in their own words. But also part of the standard was summarizing. So we add the lines underneath to do a complete summary.
Hi, my name is Dylan Carter, and this is
Ana Cornejo.
And we are the other half of the 5th grade team, and we will be explaining the next lesson in Unit 4 for the new benchmark. Okay, Unit 4, Lesson 5 is just a continuation of identifying key events and summarizing. And so you start with your normal ask question based on what you've already read. What do you think will happen in the next part of the story? You sort of get the conversation going, and then you go into finding key events. And they've already touched on this, and we've also spiraled from Unit 1 on key events. So we don't really feel the need to do the whole I do, you do, we do thing. So we start with a we do, and we make a list using a flow map of at least 4 or 5 different key events in the text. If you want to get a little creative, you can take them, cut them up, and let the kids put them in order, and then we'll finish that lesson off with a summary. When we're done with summarizing and modeling it together as a we do, then we'll transfer over and go straight to the you do, where the kids will be asked to reread specific paragraphs, specifically 21 and 23 if you're looking at this unit, and they're going to write their own summary of the key events themselves.
continuing on from what Mr. Carter said, when we do our group planning, we often find that lessons can be combined. So, for example, the previous lesson that Mr. Carter mentioned was having to do with identifying key events and summarizing. So the lesson that follows is on figurative language, more specifically having to do with idioms. So we felt that it would be beneficial to just combine the two lessons together. And then I wanted to show you that at times when we can't utilize a thinking map, we go back to our AVID strategies of doing 2 or 3 column notes, and that's how we are able to organize a lot of the information that is found in the charts. So rather than printing them out or zooming in on them, we just take it right into our journals that students have. And then we can model how we take notes down, and then students can do the same in their journals.
Okay, so we're going to move on to lesson 11, which is close reading strategy, and they're going to be analyzing point of view. Now this one was a little bit different. We hadn't really hit this very well, so you can see I have quite a bit highlighted. I really felt like I needed to zoom in on different perspectives and the different points of view and what they meant. This close reading guiding question right here is going to come into play towards the end of the lesson, and Lisa will explain that. But that is huge, and of course we always annotate that inside of our text.
Okay, so what we do is we are going to do a POV map, and this is kind of the map that we would have picked. What I like about this map is that you can do the point of view first and then do text evidence on the side here, or you could even start with text evidence and then go back and put in a point of view from the text evidence. With this, it was really important for us as a plan for a team as we wrote our notes, because it could get confusing. So we decided that we wanted to really be on the same page and highlight the areas that we really want to concentrate on, and so that when we got to this lesson that we would understand our notes. So I would recommend you to sit down with your team and highlight and write the notes that are going to work for you guys. This is what works for us. But right here you can tell this is going to be the we do portion, and this is the answers that they should be coming up with for text evidence. And this is where they would fill that in here on the map. And they should be doing this as a whole group or pair share with a group. And then you would fill in the point of view together. Coming down here to the sample answer, we noticed that this is something that they had never done before and that they wouldn't be able to probably do all by themselves. So we made a note right here to do after their independent work. And to go back, basically this is answering the question from what was talked about earlier.
Okay, so now we're on lesson 14 in Unit 4, and it's just titled Compare and Contrast Point of View. So we're actually taking 2 standards and sort of meshing them together. Again, we've decided that the kids have been getting all of these in a spiral, and so it doesn't really call for the whole DII model. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the ask question just for a quick touch base with the students, and then we get into the close reading question about Justice in Eatonville. And what we're doing is we're comparing 2 different pieces of text, Justice in Eatonville and Gold Country, 2 told from different perspectives, different point of views, and we're going to compare the stories and then explain to the students what kind of map we're going to be using to do that with.
So as previously mentioned by Mr. Carter, whenever we're adapting our lessons, we had decided as a group that this lesson didn't really need a strong I-do modeling, so we decided to jump right into the we do. And what's nice about Benchmark is that we have these prompts in the charts, but we often use our thinking maps for them. So because this lesson is on comparing and contrasting, we decided to use double bubble maps. Or a double bubble map, I'm sorry.
One last thing before we go is that usually a reading lesson can be done, every reading lesson can be done once a day for each week. Except for the intro, we tie in the intro, which is lesson 1 and 3 together so that we can do that on a Monday, and then the rest of them fall on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that way it will help you when you're planning. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this is beneficial to you. As you can see, we have to plan this way. You have to plan ahead of time, and that way you're comfortable. If you have any questions, you can email us or contact us.